Rex, you are here. You flashed. Speak, bro.
Yeah, I've just got a minute or two. So, hi to everybody who's here. I invite Renee and Juliana when Alicia just left. I hope that the mods are looking at the people who are below when they come and go, because I've watched people come and go since I've been here. Um, and if you can, just make sure that you pay attention to who shows up so that we can serve everybody. But I'm enjoying the discussion that I've heard so far. And I would just again remind people, what is it the takeaway? What will you apply? What will you begin to do today that you may not have done or that you're doing, but you'd like to continue, in that practice or enhance that practice and go from there. You know, the, the I always find that encountering people, if you say, hey, just think positive, people go, oh well, that's just, I mean, positive thinking isn't everything, and I'm like, yeah, but what's the alternative? The alternative to positive thinking is what? Not thinking positively, just, and some people say, well, it's realistic, and I'm like, well, then what's the alternative to realism? What would be the, what if you're gonna divide it and say this is no good, it should be this, then what about what is true about that? Realistic is an opinion, and it's the problem with people essentially is that we think our opinions are reality. We think that because we see, hear, feel, taste, and smell, that experience, is what's actually going on. And yet, if the truth is told, we miss so much more than we actually ever notice. We miss more than we could ever realize and become aware of. And that's fine. I mean, that's just the way it is. But the point is whenever you say it is this way, you're making a judgment. So the question becomes is which judgment do you want to make? Do you want to make one that's positive and optimistic and can help you move forward, or do you want to make one that might be negative or detrimental to you, or makes you feel bad, or puts you into some kind of weird funk? It's a choice. That's why I always, you know, say dog shit or diamonds. You have a choice, and it is absolutely a choice. So what's the alternative to loving people? Not liking people, letting people be themselves without, just ignoring them, or hating people? I mean, what is the opposite of loving people? So, and why would you ever want to parse that? Why would you want to say, well, I love these people, but not those people? What's it based on? Well, it's based on judgments. It's based on labels. It's based on observations. It's based on sometimes interactions that didn't go the way you liked. And so you've made a judgment and go, I don't like these people, or I don't like those people. But so often it's made on opinions of other people or things that we have no actual experience of other than seeing it in social media or on television or hearing about it from somebody, or, you know, um, we come to conclusions sometimes too rapidly based on inaccurate information, which is why Napoleon Hill said the hardest thing for people to do is to think accurately. To think and find accurate information is something that each of us has to do the legwork on, because if we don't do legwork on, we will accept whatever is there, and whatever is there is not necessarily put out there for our best interest, or to elevate us or uplift us or to make us better. In many cases, it's there to get us to toe the line, to be a good citizen in whatever country you are, or whatever religious group or political group or tribe that you belong to. It's to get you to adhere to, a group think, rather than to find freedom and liberation in finding out what is accurate, and then making well-informed decisions that allow you to live the kind of life that you'd like to live. And in this article, this blog, Jesus said, love one another as I have loved you. I mean, if you profess to be a Christian, then how can you be anything but that? How can you do anything but that? The old what would Jesus do kind of thing, um, should serve as an example. And if Jesus wouldn't build a wall, and if Jesus wouldn't slap people up, and if Jesus wouldn't do this, then why would you? Because if you do anything counter to that, then how are you fulfilling that injunction, in that um, command? Love others as I have loved you. And next, the other thing is don't wait for others to change before you accept them. If they would only stop doing that, well, then maybe I could get along with them. Well, no, find a way to get along with them in spite of what they're doing. You have to go first. I have to go first. We go first with compassion and understanding and acceptance and tolerance and inclusion and invitation and understanding and love and all that sort of stuff first. Why? Because through that, the likelihood of them changing without you demanding that they change is greater. They're not going to change most likely if you demand it. They're not going to change if you reject them or insult them or ridicule them or exclude them. And whether they change or not shouldn't be the question. Jesus didn't walk up to somebody and say, well, you know what, um, you don't look like the kind of person I should heal or I should forgive or I should accept. I mean, the examples where he hung around with criminals and prostitutes and drunkards and all the kind of people that society rejected, as well as hanging out at rich people's parties with rich people and, and all these people. And the people he seemed to criticize the most or do the most, have most contention with were the thought leaders or the religious leaders of the day who said, here's what you must do. And he said, yeah, well, not really. Here's what you really need to do. And that is love others as I have loved you, and forgive and be still and know that, you are God, kind of thing. And that God resides within you. So it's up to us to go first if we want changes in our life, if we want changes in our relationships, if we want changes in our wealth, our health, our happiness, or whatever it is in our life. And it ain't going to happen until you initiate it. I mean, this is the news. You can wait and 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 wait, and you'll still be waiting. But if you start something today and you do a little bit each day, and you make it a practice and you make it a habit, pretty soon, you know what? You're doing it every day, and it's growing and increasing and working for you. And you then get to see the benefits and the results of what you have started, what you have initiated. So with that, I'm going to have to close, but I'm going to tell you there's lots of stuff coming up, lots of stuff happening. Tomorrow is my show, Create Your Best Life with Rex, with co-host Danny Walsh. We're going to do another episode. We're lining up some guests, for May. I might have one next week. I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to get him. He's a big TV star. I'm trying to get him to commit to the date to make sure that we're moving forward ahead. And he's got to check his schedule. So we're going on with that. The and then I have anyway, that's that. Tomorrow evening on the 17th is the AI symposium, and on my Facebook wall and my LinkedIn wall and in certain places I posted that, where if you want to be part of this conversation, this symposium about how is AI affecting us both in positive ways and not so positive ways, join that discussion. It's free to join and to discuss, and we meet 6 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow. So it'll be 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Pacific. I've got people on the other side of the pond who are like, oh, it's 1 o'clock my time. I'm trying to get good old Dr. Fred to make it earlier, and so far he hasn't been able to accommodate an earlier hour. On the 1st through the 7th, there's the leadership summit with the Los Angeles Tribune. That's 7 days of that. I'm producing, I'm bringing guests, and I'm also hosting and co-hosting with people. So that's coming up the 1st through 7th. Register for that. It's free, but you want to register so that you have access to gifts and giveaways and goodies and all that kind of stuff. But that's 7 days of speakers and authors and presenters and the whole thing. Let's see, the 18th, 19th, I'm back in Los Angeles I'm actually in Temecula at that time for a special event with Joe Vitale, and but in the LA area, and I just got a ton of stuff going on, and it has been busier and busier and busier every single day, and more is happening, and more is coming this way. So that's all very good, but my time is extremely limited at this point. So I jumped in. I jump in when I can, and it's good to see people here. Spread the news, share the clubhouse. And if you see me on Facebook or LinkedIn or Alignable or any one of these social media things, go ahead and interact, share, comment, like, subscribe. By the way, to the show at YouTube, Create Your Best Life with Rex, and hit the bell notification. You'll always be notified when the show is going to air. We live stream every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Central, and 4 p.m. Eastern. Again, trying to be sensitive to people who are, in on the some parts of the world, it'll be like 9 or 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Sometimes it's middle of the morning, but it is what it is. So if you can't see it live, watch it in replay. But do go ahead and subscribe, like, share, and all that kind of stuff. And all good things, may you be blessed with and enjoy and spread to others, and just have a marvelous time. And as I always say, celebrate everything. And with that, I pass the mic. I got to go.